Happy birthday, U.S. Constitution. Yesterday, Constitution Day, September 17th, was the 223rd birth date of our entirely godless and secular Constitution. I'm Laurie Gaylor, and welcome to Freethought Radio.
And I'm your friendly neighborhood atheist, Dan Barker. This is the weekend of September 18 and 19, 2010. And for the first half of today's show, we got a lot of news to report. Atlanta listeners, take note, since a lot of this is about you.
Yeah, let's start with some of the ample TV coverage about FFRF's blitz of 50 free-thinking billboards up in Atlanta right now.
Well, if you're driving through Atlanta anytime soon, some billboards may shock you. The Freedom from Religion Foundation is installing 50 billboards challenging religious belief. They'll tell you to imagine no religion and sleep in on Sundays. The group is made up of atheists, agnostics, and skeptics. The goal isn't to ban religion, but to challenge it.
The goal, as I see it, is to acquaint people with the fact that non-believers are among them.
That was FFRF's Atlanta member Ron Carver on WDEF. He's a lifetime member. He was being interviewed on Channel 12 Atlanta. Here's Fox 5 Atlanta's news story about the billboards. You'll detect that the reporter was expecting a lot more criticism of our billboards than he actually got. So if you listen carefully, it's a little bit amusing.
An atheist group is bombarding Atlanta with billboards that in some cases mock belief in God.
The Freedom from Religion Foundation has rented 50 billboards, plastering them with messages discouraging religious observance and declaring that God does not exist. Fox 5's Tom Haynes joins us now with more. Tom?
Russ and Amanda, there is no mistaking why this atheist group chose Atlanta as one of the cities to wage its anti-religious campaign. It is the largest city in the so-called Bible Belt. One of the signs is right near the entrance to Turner Field, and fans at tonight's game had some strong reactions. You are on your way to observe America's pastime with your family, yes, and you stumble across a sign like that. What is your reaction?
It makes me sad.
The billboards are everywhere. Signs like this one that say sleep in on Sundays or imagine no religion. They're part of a campaign to promote atheism and agnosticism. The Wisconsin-based group that put them up says they want to show Atlantans they have a right to their opinion.
We just want to be able to express our feelings and opinions about religion or about the way we feel about the world.
50 signs like this one are going up across metro Atlanta, into DeKalb, Cobb, and Fulton counties. This one right across the street from Turner Field. And whether you agree with them or not, they are generating a lot of reaction. Does this sign offend you?
No, it doesn't.
Why not?
Because everybody's entitled to their own opinion, their own lives.
The goal, atheists say, is to get people thinking and to promote the separation of church and state. Does it say anything about where we are as a country that somebody would want to post these signs, or do you think it's just somebody expressing their own opinion?
The second one. I think it's more people expressing their own opinion. You know, why can we have people posting God is the answer billboards? People can post imagine a religion billboards.
The atheist group Freedom from Religion Foundation is paying for the billboards and have targeted other U.S. cities besides Metro Atlanta.
They want to post this with their money, and that's what they want to do with their time. All you can do is pray for them.
Plenty of vocal opposition what the signs say, but most people we spoke to today agree that this foundation is well within its right to express its opinion. Amanda and Russ?
All right, thank you, Tom.
Well, I should hope we have the right, and nothing feels like prayer. That was Perry Mitchell, another lifetime member in the Atlanta area who did a wonderful job also representing FFRF to media. Now here is Perry Mitchell in a debate from the same station in Atlanta, the usual 2 against 1, where we have a host and a clergy person against the lone freethinker. And isn't it interesting that it takes 2 believers to debate 1 non-believer?
Earlier tonight, we had a spirited debate right here at Fox 5 about those billboards.
One of which compares religion to slavery. I spoke with Perry Mitchell, a lifelong member of the Freedom from Religion Foundation, and Dr. David Sapp, the senior pastor of 2nd Ponce de Leon Baptist Church. Do you think religion is slavery?
No, I don't think it has to be. I think that some people can be enslaved by ideas, any kind of idea, and some of those ideas could very well be religious.
So what, Mr. Mitchell, are you trying to accomplish with these billboards?
We're trying to let people know that we are here, the Freedom from Religion Foundation, and the last word in our name is foundation. We are an educational foundation, and part of that education is to let America know that there are people who don't feel the same as religious people do about worldviews, about government and religion mixing.
But it seems like there's a chip on your shoulder a little bit. There's one that has Santa Claus saying, "Yes, Virginia, there is no God." I mean, that's even a little arrogant, isn't it?
One person's arrogance is another person's attempt at jocularity.
But you don't know whether God exists or not, do you?
No more than you do.
Exactly.
And what I do know is the way that I feel like I have to live my life. What is true within me is that there is no God.
Dr. Sapp, what do you make of all this?
Well, I think exactly what Perry has just said is the case. I see the billboards as an attempt by some people who feel unheard in our culture to make themselves heard. I would say that from my perspective, I take it as having an attack tone.
Now, there's one billboard that says, "Enjoy life now, there is no afterlife." That does sound like a little bit of an attack on religion.
You can call it that, Russ. I call it a statement that reflects my belief, again, how I live my life. That when I die, there is nothing else. That is it.
This isn't being read, I think, by the public. I don't think it's likely to be read by the public in that spirit.
How do you read it?
It sounds to me like it has a tone of anger to it.
Now, 3 years ago, during the height of the drought, Governor Perdue gathered religious leaders on the steps of the Capitol, and they prayed for rain. Was that appropriate in your mind?
No, because that is government and religion mixing in a very inappropriate way. In fact, I don't know of any appropriate, there is no appropriate way for me that government and religion do mix.
We don't really believe, at least I don't believe personally, that it's appropriate for churches to be involved in partisan politics. I don't believe that it's appropriate for churches to be involved in any kind of coercive way. But I do believe that it is important for people of faith to act out their moral values and to work for goodness.
Mr. Mitchell, if there is no God, isn't everyone then free to make up their own version of morality?
No, I don't think so. I think that what biologists and social evolutionists now are realizing is that there is an innate sense of what morality should be, that it's irrespective of religion.
I would take the position, this would be very different from Perry's, I'd take the position that all knowledge of right and wrong comes from God, even when its source is unrecognized. And that's a pretty pronounced difference.
Right, which is impossible for anyone to disprove.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, we've been asking for the last 24 hours on our website, myfoxatlanta.com. How do you feel about the anti-religion billboards so far? 53% say they support the message, 25% find them offensive, and 21% say it's just free speech.
And as this is broadcasting, it was up to 70% support the message, so that's very surprising.
In addition to those 50 billboards in Atlanta, FFRF has posted 20 this month in Louisville, Kentucky, and one very special prominent billboard in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Last week we interviewed FFRF member Bill Dusenberry about that on our show, and he did a great job talking about the billboard to KOKI Fox 23 News in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Atheism is a statement of fact that there is no God.
That from the man who came up with the idea for this billboard in Midtown Tulsa. It says atheism is okay in Oklahoma. Not surprisingly, the billboard getting a lot of attention. Fox 23's Abby Alford is reporting live to show us where it is and what it's about. Abby.
Well, Clay, if you drive west on the BA right at the 15th Street exit, Clay, this is what you'll see. A billboard sponsored by the Freedom from Religion Foundation, a national group. But, Clay, the idea for this comes from a Tulsa man. Billboards, a way to sell a product and a way to promote beliefs. Christians do it, and now atheists are too.
I thought, playing into Oklahoma's desire to be number one, I said, we'll capitalize on that, and we'll advertise the fact and promote the fact that Oklahoma's number one with the atheists.
Bill Dusenberry, a member of the Freedom from Religion Foundation, is talking about U.S. Senator Thomas Gore, an Oklahoma native who Dusenberry believes was the first openly atheist U.S. senator, first elected in 1907. This sign is a tribute to him, and
it's promoting freedom from religion, because I've met lots of people in Tulsa area who don't even know what an atheist is. Atheism is the statement of fact that there is no God.
It's a statement attracting no lack of comments. On the Fox 23 Facebook page, Paul writes, "I disagree with the message, but in the USA we have freedom of speech." Jeannie says, "Not okay in my neck of the woods. What is happening? Isn't this part of the country known as the Bible Belt?" And Tanisha says, "Freedom of speech is what it's all about. We have to see church advertisements, so what's wrong with this one? Just because so many others believe in a higher power doesn't mean we all have to." Agnostic. But Jared does not agree. He says they should not be allowed to put up a sign or not even be allowed to be a foundation. Bill Dusenberry expected comments like these. In fact, he welcomes them. That's what this billboard is all about.
We just want to let people know that we're here, and if they want to come and chat with us, that we're here.
This billboard is the Freedom from Religion Foundation's first billboard in Oklahoma. It's part of a month-long campaign to promote atheism across the country. Reporting live in Midtown Tulsa, I'm Abby Alford, Fox 23 News.
The Freedom from Religion Foundation is based out of Wisconsin with 16,000 members. The group says there are 125 Oklahoma members working to keep church and state separate.
FFRF has been making news, and we're going to play in a second a news piece from National Fox TV in which we were asked to comment on a disturbing court case.
But first, we want to comment on this remark by our president.
I will do everything that I can, as long as I'm President of the United States, to remind the American people that we are one nation under God, and we may call that God different names, but we remain one nation.
Well, we are all one nation, but the God part, haven't you noticed, divides us.
Now, we want to turn some of our attention to the chronic state church violation of funding faith-based organizations and the harm that's been shown by a decision by the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals that was recently issued. Laurie, my co-host, appeared recently on a National Fox TV segment briefly commenting on this problem.
When World Vision helped the people of Haiti following the devastating earthquake, aid workers did not proselytize. They served those in need regardless of their beliefs or lack of faith. But when 3 employees at the humanitarian agency's headquarters in Federal Way, Washington, stopped attending prayer meetings and chapel services and then admitted they no longer believed in the Trinity, the Christian nonprofit fired them.
Our faith drives is a primary motivating factor for our work. That cannot be compromised. It should not be compromised.
The employees sued, claiming their rights under the 1964 Civil Rights Act had been violated. But a federal judge and now a 3-member panel of the 9th Circuit Court of Appeals disagreed, ruling that an exemption in that landmark law allows religious groups to discriminate. The majority said World Vision, while not affiliated with any denomination, is a religious group first and aid group second. Nonprofits around the country are watching the case closely and are calling the ruling a major victory for religious freedom.
It allows organizations like World Vision to continue to define and carry out their missions without the government coming in, interfering, and redefining that mission through who they can hire.
All 1,200 World Vision employees in the U.S. were required to sign this statement of faith before getting hired. It reads in part, "We believe in the deity of our Lord Jesus Christ." And if they ever need a reminder, there's this sculpture of Jesus that greets them at the headquarters. Critics point out World Vision receives $300 million a year from the federal government, so in essence, taxpayers are supporting discrimination.
If World Vision wants to discriminate in hiring and firing based on religion, then it should not be receiving federal dollars. 25% of its income is from the federal government, from the public.
The plaintiffs have appealed, hoping to get a hearing before a full Ninth Circuit panel. In Seattle, Dan Springer, Fox News.
And that was Laurie Gaylor on Fox News. When I was in Christian college, I used to work for World Vision back too many years ago.
And they were totally evangelical.
They were at that time and still are today.